All right, what is going on, Luke? How you doing, brother?
What's good, man? I'm doing well. I just got back from the gym.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. So just so you guys know, Luke is has been a friend of mine in the past as well. He's had a lot of lifting experience. So
hmm
we get into it. Introduce yourself. What's your name again? Where are you from? How old are you? Just things like that. Hobbies, whatever.
What's good, yo? I'm Luke from San Diego, California. Originally born in Texas. Parents live in Monterey, and I work as a fitness coach as well. But I mean, honestly, man, I just like to work and also work out.
Sick. I didn't even know you were fucking born in Texas, bro. I thought you were always in Colorado.
What a good friend.
Okay, cool. So let's kind of get into it, right? So I do want to kind of talk about your journey because obviously your journey is a little bit different. Um, a lot of people, I would probably say 50-50 in the aesthetic
hmm
tree are 50% like beginners in their first year or their first 2 years, right, of lifting. And the other
hmm
50% are already like experienced people getting to that, trying to get to that next level physique, right? So before we kind of get into like, what you've achieved, whatever, let's kind of just talk about like
hmm
where were you at in your fitness journey before joining the aesthetic dream? Where were you at physique wise? How's
hmm
your body? How's your discipline? How's your mindset? Just a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll give a little bit of backstory for where I was at even before I started working with my last coach, but I had started working with my last coach, or no, I'll go back into fitness. So I started working out 6 years ago, and initially I even had like a personal trainer at first, and I've had two other coaches before, but started when I was 15, been working out for 6 years now, and it wasn't until about 2.5 years ago that I did hire my first coach. So I was already in the position where I had good knowledge, like I was looking shredded, I was looking pretty good, but hiring my first coach, it was again like another step to lead me in the right direction to really level up my physique to bring me to that next level. And so when I started to work with him, we really put myself through a big bulk and started getting a lot of size. That's actually where I gained a lot of my size when it was with him. And then we brought myself down to a cut. And working with him, I had learned so much, and he had really brought me to that next level where I was beyond capable of actually being able to achieve success on my own. But it wasn't until like we started to work together, I had reached almost a point of like being maxed out of in some sense of like what I could learn from him. There was honestly no, there's a lot I could have learned from him, but I knew that there was maybe another level that I could push. And there's different coaches for that in terms of what level we want to be able to actually go to next. And it's different for absolutely everyone in terms of where they're starting. So I was in the place where I knew that I want to
And
compete one day.
you're still talking about your coach from before, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I knew that I wanted to compete one day and I knew that I could be held to like the next level. I have my consistency down. I have my discipline down, but there's another level in terms of the details that need to be down because the way I always like to think about it is like what got you to where you are now isn't going to be able to fully get you to where you are in the future. And what people don't realize is when they start working out, they can have lack a lot levels of consistency, a lot levels of intensity, and they're still going to see good results. But then after those like maybe 4 years of seeing some level of results, what got them there isn't going to be able to get them further.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I think that's usually what we always talk about too, because especially like recently with the aesthetic dream, what we tend to see is people do it either by themselves or with like their past coach. They get to a certain
Mm-hmm.
point by themselves, but really it's getting to that next level physique, right? Kind of
Mm-hmm.
borderline going from either beginner to intermediate or intermediate, trying to go to advanced and just like having that next level, like super impressive physique. That's
Mm-hmm.
actually what we've seen lately, especially with at least like
Yeah.
50% of our clients. But yeah, man. So kind of going into that, like before just joining the aesthetic dream, because we kind of got your backstory right, just about
Yeah.
what you were before. So kind of going from before the aesthetic dream. Where were you at before? What kind of made you decide that okay, like I need to get
Mm-hmm.
this next level, and I think going with the aesthetic dream would be it.
Mm-hmm. So my first coach, he was a lifestyle coach because we really need to get the basic habits in.
Mhm.
And I really was in a place where like I was consistent with hitting my calories. I was fairly consistent with hitting my calories for about 5, 6 days a week, but I knew in order to actually put on the size and hit the goals that I really wanted, and I mean, feel more confident in the way I looked, it would take 7 days a week being on top of it. And I knew I was made for more. Really, that's the best way I can put it is I knew that I could push myself, and I knew that when I was going to be able to start working with you, it's going to be in many sense, you're going to be able to see where I'm at and hold me to a higher standard because you understand the experience that I have and where I actually need to be going. So you're able to very much so tailor it towards me and where I want to be going based off of going to that next level.
Yeah, absolutely. And so kind of going into that, right? So let's kind of think about like, Luke before, which was just
Mhm,
honestly just like 2, 3 months ago, right? Before
mhm,
joining. So going into this, before even joining, you wanting to make that change, what do you feel like was just
mhm,
the biggest challenges for you with fitness wise, with getting to this next level before joining the Aesthetic Dream?
mhm. So definitely saying a training intensity, I think that needed some tweaks. I think that I knew I could be training harder, but I needed to be called out more on that. And I would say consistency as far as hitting my macros and actually going out and drinking too much. So I would typically be going over my macros, or I wouldn't be hitting enough protein, and I mean be eating like shit. I didn't fully realize how much that would actually play into the way I felt and the way I looked and performing inside of the gym.
Hmm.
So that's the biggest change that I saw, if that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that was the training aspect of things. And what about like for your
Mhm,
nutrition? What do you feel like was just like the biggest things that obviously since you've learned a lot more now, like with your nutrition, nutrient timing, things like
mhm,
that, like what do you feel like before was just like the biggest challenges kind of going into the Aesthetic Dream, before you even joined?
uh-huh. Hitting my calories, eating the right foods, meal timings. I did not realize how big of a change that would actually make, especially my pre-workout meal, which is just allow me to train so much harder. I didn't realize that I was eating about like 30 minutes before my lift and I wasn't eating enough. Versus now, we've been able to really get in check about eating 1.5 hours to 2 hours based off how my body's been reacting. Where now performing inside of the gym has gone so much further. But as far as nutrition, from the nutrition standpoint, I would be very busy throughout my day where I would push off eating my meals, and we had to find the right things in order to put into place where I could be hitting the calories.
Yeah.
So I would be like missing my calories a little bit, maybe once a week, especially going over on fats because I wouldn't always be eating the right foods to get me there.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I feel like it's funny because, you see all these like TikTok, YouTube, just like, oh, it doesn't matter like what time you eat, as long as you have your calories in. But it's like, yeah, it might work for like the beginning, but
Exactly.
when it comes to, especially when you get to the intermediate phase where it's like you're trying to
Mm-hmm.
really have a physique where it's like people look at you like, okay, this guy looks crazy, right? Getting to that
Yeah.
next level, like all the small little details when it comes to your training that you think that doesn't really matter, all the small details that when it comes to your nutrition,
Mm-hmm.
this percentage of carbs you should be eating around your workout, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
All these small things
Mm-hmm.
play a big part, and I feel like that's one of the main reasons why you've been hitting a lot of PRs,
Yes.
lately, especially. But yeah, man. So let's kind of talking about like going into the program right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now where you're at, and it hasn't been long, and you're already fucking killing it. So just imagine like literally in the next year. I just can't fucking wait. But so right
Yeah.
now, going into Luke right now, right? What have you achieved like so far? What are the biggest changes that you've seen? Results wise, and whether it's in the
Mm-hmm.
gym, whether it's with your body, and how you
Mm-hmm.
feel now.
I've been hitting PRs every single week. We've seen that
Yeah.
minimum. I would say, I mean, everything has skyrocketed drastically. We've been able to put on about 8 pounds in the course of this week, so we're not being too aggressive, and I'm able to eat 3,700 calories, which is pretty fucking crazy. Sitting at only 154 pounds initially, now being able to sit at 164, so that's 10 pounds. And yeah, kind of lost my train of thought.
Yeah. No, no, you're good. You're good. Yeah. So, PRs, dude, you're looking a lot better. With how you're feeling, how you feeling right now?
Dude, I feel fucking great. It's like the best performance I've been in the gym because things are very clear with what's working, and we've been able to set that clear vision for what works well for me.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Fuck yeah, man. Well, dude, I mean, that's the thing too, right? When you really take into account like everything that you're doing and you do it consistently over the course of time, because I know in the beginning, like we had our like you switched coaches, you made a switch, and there was like all these little details that was like, dude, you got to do this. All right, dude, you got to do
Yeah.
that. So it's like there was a lot of different things. So you kind of adapting to that now, like that's why you're
Mm-hmm.
fucking killing us because you're executing
Exactly.
now. So yeah, man. So right now, I know we've been kind of talking about like, your journey, how you've been. So I want to ask you, because I know that this was a decision that you've waited on doing and something that we've been
Yeah.
talking about for a good amount of time. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, dude, like take your time, do your thing. When you feel like you've learned as much as you can from your last coach, you can come to me, right?
Yeah.
That was the main thing. So for people, I guess like we're on the fence because there's a lot of people that are on the fence. Whether it's about the aesthetic dream, hiring a coach,
Mm-hmm.
get to the next level, they're still thinking, oh, maybe I could do it on my own. What would be
Mm-hmm.
advice to those certain people, who are on the fence about, applying for coaching?
Drop your ego. Drop your ego. You've probably seen some levels of plateaus and you've probably questioned yourself, and you should think into those questions.
Mhm.
Drop your ego and be able to at least hop on a call and ask for advice on what mishaps are actually being able to see. And
Mhm.
then Francis is going to be able to point you in the direction and pinpoint things that you haven't fully fucking realized. Seriously, like you've seen results, you're probably going to be a little bit cocky about you. People are probably already asking you questions and stuff, which is fucking great. But what direction do you really want to go? Because I can guarantee you there are things that you don't see that Francis will be able to point out that will actually be able to bring you to that next level, that you'll be able to see even better gains and more progress than you did initially, which is what you're really looking for.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And then and that's what's funny too. Whenever I talk about these things when it comes to dropping your ego, hiring a coach, people think I'm talking to my ass. But truth is, I have a coach. I've helped out for over 400
Exactly.
people, but I have a coach, and my high level bodybuilding coach, Will, he also has a coach, and I always talk about this in my story.
Exactly.
Chris Bumstead has a coach. So if
Yes.
these people who are very high level need a coach, what makes you think that you can do it on
Yes.
your own? People
Yeah.
are their perspectives are just like crazy. But yeah, man. So
Yeah.
going on to the last question, you know, with the program, with yourself, with your experience going through what you went through, all the successes, would you recommend a friend to go through a program, and why?
Fuck yeah. I mean, no doubt. I mean, I already have about 5 friends. I've even put my girlfriend through the program, and it's it's been drastic. Again, like Francis is going to be able to see the things that you're not seeing, that you think you don't see. There's blind spots. And he'll be able to bring you to that next level where you don't even realize you're fucking up on.
Hell yeah. All right. Awesome, man. Well, dude, I think this was a great story, a lot of golden nuggets as well. I definitely think that this will be motivating a lot of people to
Mm-hmm.
not only get off their ass, but be able to just drop their ego. And whether it's
Exactly.
asking for help or whether it's getting started from the gym, I think
Yes.
this will definitely help a lot of people. But yeah, man. Other than that, if you guys that do have any questions, just shoot me a message. And for you, Luke, just to end it with this, like, what do you feel like? No, where can people find you? What's your Instagram and things like that?
Luke Dubé, LukeDube.
All
Hit
right.
me up.
Just for the people to know that you're a real person.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. I'll see you then, brother. Peace.
All right. Deuces.